20th, 2026, and welcome to episode 122 of the Driving Forward podcast. Whether you're joining us live or listening on one of our 18 platforms, including Reese Across America Radio, where we proudly broadcast every Tuesday evening from 4 to 5 p.m. Central Time, we appreciate your support. Next week, we're at the Mid-American Truck Show, MATS, in Louisville. I know Robert Bain will be joining me. We might have another person or two. I'm on a panel on Thursday with Todd Waldron and Adam Wingfield talking about AI in transportation and logistics, specifically, I think, in the truck and how it impacts drivers. Swing on by. It's immediately following the, I think it's a fuel discussion with Jamie Hagan, Alex Mai, Pam Polyak. So it's immediately following that. I'd love to see everybody there. The following week, well, actually, the cap off MATS real quick. So if you are at MATS and would like to get together, reach out. We have a bunch of events going on in the evenings while we're there, a couple of dinners, whatnot. If you'd like to be a part of that, reach out to us. We'd love to have you come join us. Most of our activities in the evening are going to be downtown. So, once again, feel free to reach out. We'd love to see you. We'd love to spend some time with you and get caught up if we haven't seen you in a while, or meet you for the first time. MATS is a huge show. 60 to 70,000 people typically come through it. It is the pulse of the industry. So if you're not at the Mid-American Truck Show, you're missing out on some good conversations, and it's one of my favorite shows every year. I know I say that about a lot of shows, but it's very true about MATS. So the following week, I'll be out catching some R&R, this time a whole week of it instead of just a couple of days. So gonna kick back, relax, enjoy spring break, and take it on from there. So we'll probably run a recording next week instead of coming up with something new. So I just got back from Nashville. It was the ATA TMC, and something right out of the gate with TMC is the amazing conversations that we had in the hallways, at tables, at various places throughout Nashville as we kind of went around throughout the days. But that's the primary location for a lot of discussions at conferences. You learn some things in sessions. We were at a session about AI, and I learned quite a bit about it, but not in the way that I probably expected. I had some takeaways. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit before we open up to all of our guests that we interviewed at TMC. So we have a number of companies that we spoke to while we were at TMC about what they do, who they are, where they came from. Got some interesting discussions on recording too, and found out a few facts about people I didn't know about. So, but the AI topic kept coming up at TMC, and it comes up everywhere, but it was different at TMC, or maybe I started to realize something. So everybody's talking about it all over the place. Everybody's deploying it, trying it, but I think I just started to understand how many companies don't truly understand AI generally. I mean, you think about it, but a lot of them don't understand agentic AI. A lot of them don't understand the accuracy of AI, and it is not 100% accurate. It's probably not going to be 100% accurate, but it's also not 20% wrong if it's a good solution. And that was a topic that was called out about quite a bit. So today I want to clear up some of the smoke, just the real talk of what we heard at TMC, and what the fleets are about to run into head first, whether they're really ready or not. If you're not implementing AI, you are probably going to find out that you're going to be left behind here shortly, if you're not already left behind. So most companies think that AI is a tool, and Definitively, it probably is, but in reality, it's not. It's a system of behavior. And the problem that I keep seeing is that a lot of companies think AI is just another feature. It's something that you turn on, something that you turn off, that it lives in a dashboard. And that mindset's really outdated now. So that certainly was what AI is. And in general, yes, you can turn it on and turn it off. But it's not really the software. It's not AI software that you're just installing. New modern AI solutions is a decision logic. It's you either design it or you let it happen to you. So you can sit there and verify as you go along, and that's that decision logic. Or it can automatically make changes to it. So a lot of companies talk about, hey, we're already using AI, and in many cases, they're not. So they maybe are, and I mean, if you're using cameras and you're using any sort of automation around the cameras and the events that are happening with the cameras with trucks, you're probably using some sort of AI. But in many cases, companies that say, hey, we're already using AI, you may just be using automation with a marketing stamp put on it that says AI, and that's not truly what we're talking about in this new world. So machine learning is one thing, and it's certainly a valid use of technology, and it means a lot. But the new agentic AI, the new use of AI, is not a machine learning level. AI doesn't just respond. It's going to reason, it's going to adapt, and it's going to improve the outcomes that you have. Now, if you really want to compare it, if you were to put a person or multiple people on a workflow to monitor and manage based on a rule set, that's truly what you're doing with AI. And it may get something wrong. It may get something wrong 3%, 4%, 5% of the time, maybe not even, depending upon what it is. But you need to measure it being wrong. You need to measure it being wrong and potentially put in a whole nother layer of AI to manage when you've identified that it's wrong. Just like you would do if you had more people. Or you would add a person on to ensure that the person you have doing it full time is doing it correct. So, or you would add in a BI layer to do that, some sort of exception management. And you're going to use AI for exception management potentially as well. So another discussion was AI replaces people. And let's get to the core of that. It's really replacing friction. It's replacing bad processes. It's replacing, like I alluded to earlier, manual babysitting. Any repetitive decision loop that you have in your organization, it has the capability to enhance or potentially replace. And does that potentially replace people? Yes, it does. But you're also going to need people to manage that process. So if you have people who you don't want as part of your organization anymore, now you have a way of kind of enhancing that role a little bit. However, if you are freeing up people, you can look at the areas of your business that are weak, that do require interaction. I think a lot of us are talking about this is allowing us to create more relationships that, we've largely gone into this sea of massive amounts of data and requirements from customers and whatnot. We have armies of people handling that. And now we can potentially go back to managing the exceptions that are being identified by the solutions and being direct customer facing or driver facing and working on the relationships again, which is really anywhere you go in this industry. This is a relationship business, and that's not going to change anytime soon at all. That's a long way off. So another thing that we talked a lot about is we're just too small for AI solutions. And that's actually backwards. So small fleets, small organizations, companies can benefit way faster with AI because it exposes your inefficiencies immediately. And compared to a large organization where that one workflow may take some serious effort to clean up and to deploy, a smaller organization is going to be able to deploy that in days, most likely, and start seeing the benefits of it. So it can fix things without needing a huge analytics team to be able to dive into processes and whatnot. So a lot of misconceptions around AI and what it is and its accuracy. It is not 20% wrong. I heard a lot of, it's wrong all the time. Well, it's wrong as often as probably you are. Just you happen to be working on a linear process and you haven't shored up the fact that it's wrong. So, take that approach to it. So if you are deploying AI, you're finding out that it's got a percentage of inaccuracy that you're not comfortable with, create another solution that sits on top of it to close that gap. A big topic too was agentic AI. What is agentic AI? And, everybody uses the term. I don't think not anyone, but I think a huge amount of people don't actually understand agentic AI at all. A lot of people's eyes glaze over when you go deep and you start talking about agentic, and it really shouldn't. So agentic AI is not a chatbot. It's not asking questions or waiting for instructions. So that's the key point. It may use a chatbot, it may ask questions, and it may wait for instructions if it's told to. But typically speaking, agentic AI is a system that sets goals, that takes actions, that observes the results, and then it adjusts itself without having to be micromanaged. So when you get down to it, it's a group of AI agents that are all working together to achieve a goal. And that goal is defined by you. So imagine an AI agent so a great example of this is if you imagine an AI agent that notices your detention is creeping up at a specific shipper. It takes a look or cross-references appointment data and your dwell time and even driver feedback if you're gathering that in. And then it flags that as an issue, and it looks at the pattern of what's out there. And so then it starts adjusting your planning logic. So how you're planning trucks in and out of that particular location. And it notifies operations of the issue that it's identifying. And that issue is costing you money and delay. That's a great example of a single agent, a single agentic agent working together to create results. Now that can be applied to anywhere in your business. So whatever decision logic that's repetitive, some of these things you don't monitor live time or you're doing it through a dashboard. So, to take a look at areas of your business that you want to dig into, you would start at a dashboard and say, this is something we're measuring so we can manage it better. Well, potentially that's a good use for an agentic AI agent. Companies resist this because leaders are typically used to approving every move. And I'm one of them, especially on the transportation side. I wanted to see everything that was happening all the time. So you have to trust the system. And you have to accept that it's going to fail from time to time and then adjust it when it fails. If you don't adjust it when it fails, it does potentially learn as it's going along. But if you don't adjust it when it fails, you're not going to make it better. You're not going to make it account for those scenarios that you didn't initially account for. The second reason companies resist it is that bad data. It's the garbage in, garbage out, right? And an AI readiness assessment can assist there, looking at your processes, ensuring that they're clean. Because if you're just going to enhance a bad process, you have an extremely enhanced bad process. So garbage data and AI will make it painfully obvious that you have garbage data in your system. So that's a key component. You need accurate data. Now, the interesting thing on this is you can actually deploy AI to clean up that data. You can deploy AI to show you the variances, the things that don't make sense, et cetera, et cetera. If it's order data, your truck's moving digitally faster than possible. Your time in and time out of a location is not feasible. You cannot arrive and depart in 1 minute and deliver the load. It's just not possible. So, in some cases, we would measure that through activity monitoring. So what we call BAM, or business activity monitoring, dashboards, etc. And AI, you can lay in layers that not only look into it and identify it, but potentially fix that data without having to have human intervention. So the other side is culture, and we see this one a lot. If your company struggles with accountability, AI is going to call that out pretty fast. So if you just have somewhat of a loose organization and you don't have an org chart that functions extremely well based upon well-defined roles, you're gonna probably, and everybody kind of does what they want to do. So if you go into a system and this person dispatches this way and this person dispatches this way, and your 3 customer service reps all have different processes, you're going to struggle with AI. You're going to struggle with any component of AI. And on top of that, you're going to struggle with the deployment and the cleanup of it because of the way your business is run. So other common issues, that I heard was it doesn't work for us. We layered AI. Typically, you're going to layer AI on top of a broken process. So you got to fix that process first, and then it's going to amplify whatever AI will amplify whatever already exists, good or bad. So if you have a bad process, you put AI on top of it. The AI logic makes sense, and it comes out with a bad experience. You probably have a bad process. Another one is people don't trust it. And I wrote a post on this the other day. That's a fair assessment. Trust is earned, and you have to start with that decision support, not decision replacement. So think about it, that your AI can explain why it's doing what it's doing, not just do it. So I think that's a step that a lot of people miss, and it's also a component of that culture where I want to understand why we're doing this. And after you do it for a while, and you find yourself not researching the recommendation or the decision that AI is recommending, and you're just accepting it, then it's time to move on to that automation. Another issue that we talked about, it's overwhelming, and that's because many vendors oversell their product and undereducate or underimplement, and in many cases the vendors are potentially undereducated. There are a lot of vendors in this space, and it's hard to gather exactly where they're all at, who's the good ones, who's not. We're developing a protocol to work with AI vendors, and if you don't meet the first few checkboxes, you're just not coming to the table at all. And that's actually eliminated a lot. So, security around that is a big deal. But once again, going back to vendors oversell and undereducate, you narrow that problem down to one workflow, to one outcome, to one measurable win, and you start there. So we talked a lot about put it in and deploy it at one location first, or one process first. So that's kind of the key on the AI side. And I know I took up a lot of time here going through AI, but these are some questions that are coming up, and I was very surprised how many people did not understand the basic concepts of AI. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'd love to chat on this topic. It is where the industry is going, whether you like it or not. This is not a fad. So this is not the blockchain revolution that happened 10 years ago. This is absolutely something that's moving forward. So I wanted to talk a lot about the ATA, but I think I'm going to run out of time here. So we're going to wrap it up and start with our first interview here at ATA TMC, once again in Nashville, Music City. Had a blast there. It was a good time and great discussions.
All right, here with Jay Stone with Squarerigger. Jay and I go back quite a ways.
Oh yes, for sure.
Been a number of years. So, Jay, can you tell us about Squarerigger?
Yeah, we're a full-featured fleet maintenance management platform. So, manage your inside shops. Also, if you have some retail shop activity on the outside, you can sell parts straight out of your warehouse. We can do the invoicing. We can integrate to your TMS. So, full-featured system. Also with all the inventory capabilities, purchase orders. We manage all of that.
Great, so, great. So how long has Squarerigger been around?
Squarerigger's a 40-year-old company.
Wow.
So we have been around for a long time. We've got a great customer base that's very loyal to us. Our average customer's been with us for 15 years. I was brought in a few years ago to lead the complete rebuild of our system. So we're completely browser-based, mobile-ready for the 21st century now.
So from a fleet maintenance software standpoint, what's your target customer? I mean, who's your ideal customer?
Yeah. So, probably about 40 or 50% of our customers are trucking operations. So over-the-road heavy, Class 8 type diesel operations. So we also can serve waste industry. We have some construction companies. We can also serve government. So all of those are options for us. Very flexible system.
Great. So the rebuild, was that a complete top to bottom rebuild, or did you take some of the old stuff and pull it forward? Or?
Well, what we did was we took all of the knowledge and experience and mistakes that we made over the years, right, and pulled from that. But from a technology perspective, platform perspective, it's all new. So we're AI ready. We've built in AI where it needs to be, not forced it in where it doesn't need to happen. So yeah. And
so what's a use case of AI that you're using?
Yeah, so one of the main places, we have some of our customers that have a lot of over-the-road trucking breakdowns and that type thing, right? So those invoices are coming in from third-party shops.
Yep.
We utilize AI to scan all of that information in so they don't have to pay someone to type those invoices in, that manual data entry. We're also putting in AI for our analytics, right? So you can literally chat with your data. So you just come in and you say, hey, show me all of the parts that I've pulled, put on this particular truck in the last 5 years. It will create that list for you. So you just ask the system what you want to know.
Yeah, and then it produces out the deliverable on that.
Exactly.
Integrations wise, and if I put you on the spot here,
that's okay.
Apologies, but so there's I know a lot of our customers are looking at fleet maintenance software right now. And it's definitely a hot topic in the industry. But integrations is usually where we kind of have difficulties. So can you talk about how you did integrations, specifically around accounting and the tracking systems and whatnot?
Right. So we integrate with close to 65 to 70 different telematics providers. So we can pull in, depending on the telematics vendor, what they allow us to pull, we can pull it basically. So, most of them we can pull if something fails on a DVIR, we can pull that in to start that service request. We can pull in the meter readings to drive those PM schedules. All of that, we also capture the GPS location, so if you're looking for that trailer on a yard somewhere that you need to pull into the shop, you can find it right there in our system on a tablet. So,
perfect.
Yeah, from an accounting perspective, we do integrate with multiple accounting systems. So, QuickBooks, we also integrate with TMS, McLeod TMS, we integrate with them. You can push all the accounting stuff over, so you can actually set up in our system your own GL structure. We store that, and then we push all of the accounts payable information for your parts purchases. We can also push over messages, when PMs are coming due. So,
anything else we need to know about Squarerigger?
No, we're, like I said, we've just done this rebuild in the last year, and this is our big launch here, so we're really excited that you came by and did this. And
you got the big booth right on the corner, seeing from all angles.
Yes.
So show's been good for you?
It's been a great show.
Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
we've had a great time.
Great catching up. Appreciate
Thanks a lot. Yeah, I appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
All right, I'm here with Mike with Xirgo Technologies.
You got it, Uremovich.
Uremovich.
There you go.
Mike Uremovich. And Mike was going to say something about Susan. So
wind me up.
Yeah. There's some history there, I guess.
Wasn't it last night at Tootsie's or something?
Yeah.
There's a story.
So there's always stories. So Mike, you've been in the industry a long time. Give us a little bit of your background.
I am. Thank you very much. Actually, it was 2008 when prior to that I had been in sales, working with technology, with transportation companies in RFID technology. Do you remember that?
Of course.
Okay,
yes.
so
I go back a ways.
One of the companies I worked with was Amtech, that invented the toll road, Ross Perot.
Okay.
And they were looking for ways to use the technology and obviously increase the profitability. So we went to the railroads. And long story short, even today, if you get stuck at a railroad crossing, there's a chance that you have an inoperable RFID tag in the lower right-hand corner, okay? A gray brick.
Yep.
And so the boss said, go see if trucking companies will use that. And so I spent about 5 years meeting a lot of great people in trucking, but I also spent more time in Washington, D.C. on the dedicated short-range standards committees, where unless the big guys could agree to a standard, it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
But
trying to get trucking companies or logistics groups to agree on something, it's real easy to do, right? And then you add the government in onto it. So that had to be a battle.
It did, but it really exposed me to the transportation industry, and I also saw a real strong need for increased visibility on assets. And at the time, there was a great company, Zeta, was looking for enterprise sales. So I joined Zeta, working with trucking companies. Really, it was long before ELD was the mandate, but essentially that's what they were doing to get visibility on hours driven and all other important information. And then they were acquired by a larger company. And that's where I met Susan. I was put into a division called Spirion, which started the very first trailer tracking that used cellular networks. And we did that in late 2011. And now that's standard. But before, everybody was using satellite communications to get the data from the device to the customer. And so that allowed us to really grow an industry that today is trying to take it to the next level with very advanced sensors.
It's the connected trailer, the connected truck. It's all the amount of technology we're dealing with today is astronomical.
It is, but I this may sound a little corny, but I was even telling my son the other day, I've always used this kind of mantra of 24/7 visibility is a game changer. And it doesn't have to be the most advanced data, just know where my assets are, how long they've been there, and if they've been there too long, get them on the road. Now today, you can say, are they loaded or unloaded? Because that technology has changed quite a bit too. The cameras are clearer,
they give you a
more reliable. Exactly. So that's kind of how I got into this industry. And of course, I don't need to tell you and your audience, just the people involved are just not only quality folks, but I mean they're really become great friends. Absolutely.
It's you can't beat the people in our industry. They're
Amen.
Just top notch. So Xirgo Technologies. This is how long have you been there?
4 months.
4 months. I figured it was.
We
didn't get a lot of to talk. We didn't get to talk much about what Xirgo is much, but so this is all new to me, as Mike's saying it. But,
Okay, but let me give you a little Xirgo commercial here. I was at the stage of my career to where I was. I still wanted to continue to work with trucking companies to see if I can help them solve problems, and also leveraging some of the friendships that I've had. I started discussions with Xirgo, who recently, through their private equity company, Balmoral, bought a business unit from Sensata, which was a company that's primarily known for sensors, but been around in various forms since 2006. So the division that was owned by Sensata owned Xirgo Global Technologies. It owned Elastic machine-to-machine software. It owned Smart Witness long before these multi-camera systems were even in the marketplace. So Balmoral acquired this division, and then last year they named it Xirgo Technology. So today, Xirgo Technologies, with really millions of devices out in the marketplace, unknown to most people in this room right here, they basically are addressing 4 distinct areas.
Okay.
One is vehicle telematics, and we refer to the vehicle telematics because there's a lot of companies selling to the auto dealers, and just cars and trucks, right?
Yep.
Okay, and they're using telematics for a variety of things, whether it's the auto dealer managing his lot, or they're selling it to the consumer for auto theft, or even one of the applications that Susan and I worked for a gentleman that founded in 2001, buy here, pay here. So if you buy the car at the used car lot, and if you don't pay, guess what? They know where your car is, and they give you a little jingle.
We've been using that in the truck industry for a long time, in the leasing side. So you hide your little unit in the truck.
Exactly. So there's several companies. One is again with a dear friend of Susan and mine, that they use the Xirgo technology and have since 2014.
Okay.
In parallel, we design software systems that there's several people in this room here that most people don't know that they white label our software.
Okay.
And by software, I mean that user interface that fundamentally is a map, tells you where the asset is itself, but then it has more advanced reporting capabilities. And then last but not least is the asset telematics. A lot of discussions around here are where are my expensive assets?
Right.
Of course, the most widely known is trailer tracking and ELD.
Yeah.
Trailer tracking is one that surprisingly in 2026 is there's still a lot of trailers out there that people don't know where they are. It's especially the larger companies.
Right. Well, I think we've seen on the trailer side, adoption started 4 years ago, somewhere in that range. Now it's almost a table stake. So pretty much everyone is tracking the trailers today in some way, shape, or form. So
they are, but Nate, somebody asked me the other day, especially since I started a new job with Xirgo, is that, why Xirgo? Other than the fact that we manufacture the hardware, so we've been supplying hardware to almost many of these people in this room here. But a couple of things that stand out. Number one, unfortunately, a lot of companies that have been competing in this world, they've really skinnied back on support.
Sure, yeah.
So we may all check the boxes for the same features, so you get a sales sheet or even go to the website, we all sound the same.
Yeah.
So it really is that combination of, if you've got a larger fleet, they're looking for someone that can check the box in several different areas. Maybe they need cameras as well as asset telematics, but then they also want an experienced company that really can support them.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, and that's you guys are established now and going direct to market with all those companies.
Well, it's a combination of things, because today, this is an unofficial stat, but I would say 80 to 90% of our business is through our channel partners.
Sure.
So all the larger companies, some of them not at the show, some of them have their own booths here, that they buy Xirgo hardware and they package that as part of their end solution to the customer. But probably wouldn't surprise you that some of the largest fleets, they just tend to work directly with the manufacturer. So we have grown a percentage of our significant portion of our business where it has been direct. And that's one of the things that I've been asked to do by coming in, is to help work with the larger enterprises and help them understand not only what we do, but help us learn what they do and what they're really looking for in terms of solving a problem.
Great. So, fun fact about Mike is he's a former Minnesota Twin. So, what years did you play, or when did you
I
play?
can't say. Go look it up.
How do you look that up these days?
You know what, the sad thing about looking it up these days, it used to be you go sit in a bar and tell everybody you played pro baseball, and I was a superstar and whatever. Nowadays they go look it up, see your batting average.
Yeah, you kind of suck.
But I got my own jersey and my own bat contract and all that good stuff. So you know what, it was one of those things as a kid that I was fortunate enough to get drafted relatively high, and I chased the dream and had a lot of fun doing it.
A good portion of the kids, I don't know about today, but my generation as well, everybody wanted to play pro sports in some way, shape, or form. You got to live that for a little bit. So.
Oh, I did, and one last comment on that, because I got to blame my dad, who's no longer with us, but I look at this little picture I got to where he, every time I pick up a ball, I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
But he would stuff that ball in my right hand. You know why?
So you learned how to...
No left-handed catchers.
Oh,
he wanted me to be a
gotcha.
catcher, and I was going to throw right-handed come hell or high water. And I did.
Yeah,
So
good deal. So, Mike, I appreciate it.
Great
So
talking
thanks
to you.
for, chatting with
Thank
us.
you very much. Great to see you.
If your fleet's downtime looks like chaos, you're missing out on GLCS. In the time-critical world of trucking and logistics, every minute counts. Meet GLCS, your expert partner in managed IT and technology services. We integrate seamlessly with your team, bringing seasoned IT professionals with deep trucking and logistics expertise. Imagine your software updates running smoothly, complex issues resolved quickly, and operations humming with efficiency. GLCS has your back. Our support doesn't just fix problems, it prevents them with our industry connections and proactive approach. We keep your trucks rolling and your brokers working. Think of us as the added resource your company needs to unleash its full potential. Visit glcs.net today and keep your business driving forward. GLCS, where efficiency meets expertise.
All right, this is Craig from Topher Tech, who I've just met, but I've been seeing you guys pop up on social media a little bit, and so we were talking with some other folks. Craig came up and he started telling me what they do, and I said, whoa, hold on, let's just get the recording. So Craig, it's great to meet you. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Topher Tech.
Sure. So my name is Craig Schneider. I founded Topher Tech with my co-founder Xirgo about 2.5 years ago. We've created a software solution that's kind of like an infrastructure layer for breakdown departments at commercial trucking companies. So it's a software solution that finds towing and roadside assistance instantly without the need to make phone calls searching for service.
Great. So explain a couple of use cases on when, I mean, you just stated that, but can you go through like a day in the life of that service and how it works?
Sure. So the way the system works is pretty simple. A call comes in to a breakdown department from a person who's stuck on the side of the road and is broken down and needs service. They assess the situation right from our software. They open it up. It's web-based, so it's just a tab on their browser. They input basic information into a request. The phone number of the broken down driver. If we know the location, great. If there's an address, if not, we can geolocate it based on the driver's phone. The certain type of service that's needed, the type of vehicle it is it loaded, is it how heavy it is, and then as soon as the request goes into the system, it immediately goes to all, not just one, all of the providers for towing or roadside assistance if necessary in the vicinity of the breakdown at the same time. They all have 5 minutes to come back with a ETA to arrive at the location as well as an estimated cost for the job. And then our algorithms match what it is the best to send out to that job. So they then assign the opportunity to the one company that's the best match. The others are thanked for trying basically, and then it becomes a very Uber-like experience from that point forward. Everybody's seeing on the a screen on a live real-time map the progress of the tow operator or the roadside assistance provider as he's approaching the broken down vehicle. So there's no need for follow-up phone calls. In-app, any kind of communication can go on, notes back and forth between company, driver, towing dispatcher, etc., as well as photos can be uploaded about the scenario, all the way through the completion of the job where a full ledger is provided at the end with all documentation of exactly what took place, the amount of time it took, the amount of mileage that was traveled, the service that was provided, and then all the way through invoicing.
Great. No, that's definitely streamlines the unplanned maintenance side of things. So how do you vet the vendors? So if you're a vendor and you're working with Topher Tech, how do they get on your list? Or can a carrier restrict who they work with?
Absolutely, and that's a very important point because the carriers are very specific about the vendors that they will do business with, right. And so therefore, we encourage them to share with us their vendor list, of which we upload into the system. We invite, do co-branded emails and reach out to those vendors saying, hey, XYZ trucking company wants to use Topher Tech, and therefore you're still going to get our business. We're just going to contact you via Topher Tech versus the old way with a phone. Hopefully they'll then allow us to sign them up in the system. It costs them nothing to be on our system. And so we're able to build out a network, but it's as easy as a click of the button that says, for a vendor, we have an area where you can block or unblock a vendor. One click of a button.
Easy. So now return on investment for this, obviously I can read between the lines, but when you're talking to a prospect or even an existing customer, what do you typically say in regards to return on investment?
Well, the first and foremost, the most obvious is time is money, right? In the trucking industry, you have a down truck sitting on the side of the road. You're not only not making money, you're paying a driver for that time. You're also wasting their time that they could be driving, and then there are the penalties that stack up at missed windows for deliveries, warehouse charges, everything else. So there is an absolute cost to the downtime, and we charge a very nominal service charge to get that process happening much quicker and much more efficiently, and really not only the streamlining of the actual process, but you're also bringing together everything onto one platform. So add at the end of it all the analytics that come from all the information of all your breakdowns. You can use for vendor management. You could use it for there are multiple layers of benefit that go well above and beyond just that knowing a guy can get there in 45 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. So why is it called Topher Tech?
Why is I came up with the name.
Fair
yeah,
enough.
2.5 years ago. I was talking to 3 other people about the business when I first came up with the idea, and I kind of said, "Look, there are 4 of us, Topher Tech."
Fair enough. So got it. Well, Craig, appreciate it. Thanks a lot. It's great meeting you.
You as well.
Look forward to hearing more about what you're up to.
We're excited. Thank you so much for the opportunity to talk.
Thank you. All right, I'm here with Jeff Walker from SDVerse, and we were just talking a little bit. I didn't get the whole spiel yet, so I said, wait a second, Jeff. Let's just record.
Okay.
And so, Jeff, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then let's get into SDVerse.
All right. So I've been in the automotive industry, pass car, light truck, for 30 years. I was working at Bosch for most of those years as a sales guy or running the airbag business. And SDVerse was invented about 2 years ago by General Motors, Magna, and WePro to help the pass car light truck find software, market software, go to market with software products quicker, mainly to compete with China, who has more of a command and control sourcing process for software.
Okay.
So we were invented to find a way to globally become more efficient. I'm here today because a lot of the software we use on our marketplace also applies to the commercial vehicle space. So we want to serve that industry as well. And so I'm here learning about your industry, commercial vehicle, and see how our marketplace needs to be reshaped to serve that industry. So that's what we do in a nutshell, is we make the buying and selling of software efficient.
Gotcha. So on that side, give me a more detailed use case. Like if I'm a buyer, who is the buyer? How do they use your product to purchase something? Example solution.
For example, let's say you're a GM engineer who's looking for auto-tune software for your next vehicle platform, and you want to find out who's doing the auto-tune software. Is it Radio Player out of the UK? Is it iHeartRadio out of the US? Who has the software that we need? We have them listed on our marketplace, and so GM can go and do a comparison. Who's got what we need? Who fits in our tech stack? In other words, who's matching the silicon? Who's matching the inputs and the outputs we need for our application? And then once they down select to let's say the 2 that they need, then they can call them in and do a more efficient tech review.
Sure.
So we're that very early discovery phase of who's offering what in the world. And we are global. In fact, a third of our listings are out of Europe, a third are out of North America, and a third out of Asia. So we're very globally natured, but we bring the best innovations to the marketplace so that the OEMs can find them faster. So that's a use case that, in fact, it just occurred.
Yeah, no, that's a perfect description of what I was kind of hunting for. So primarily on the OEM side, the supplier side would be, anyone that's building something out there that is going to use your product to go out and select or at least determine what. I mean, there's a few people that have attempted this in other ways, but maybe not targeting OEM on the Class 8 side, at least, that I'm aware of. So that's kind of news to me. Definitely makes sense that you're coming out of light duty, and that, I mean, obviously the OEMs on the cars and the trucks and the light duty pickups and whatnot, there's a lot more going on there, but we're evolving as an industry, so that's definitely a path that I can see everyone going in. Are you getting a lot of traction when you talk to organizations around here? Is there?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of outreach. Actually, like International or Navistar, PACCAR, Volvo, they're reaching out to us because they see what we're doing. We're implementing AI features also so that you can load a spec up into our marketplace. Let's say it's a 30-page spec. That used to take, your engineers used to take hours to find who's the supplier that can even match my specification. You load it up, the AI tools on our marketplace, just chew through it, say, this Bosch software is a 95% match to what you need. And it's really a fast match. And what the truck industry likes about that is the same reason the pass car likes it. It saves time, makes a more accurate match, and you don't waste your time talking to people who aren't really going to be a fit at the end of the day.
Right.
So so we're seeing some traction there, and also your commercial vehicle ecosystem is completely different. It's a lot different. So we have to organize ourselves a bit differently.
What's an example of the differentiator then?
Well, let's say you have a lot of a fleet structure which relies on maintenance or relies on preventive maintenance or logistics tracking and other things. These are some of the technologies that aren't currently on our marketplace.
Right.
So you have to really understand what is the end customer needing, and then figure out, is your marketplace serving those needs or not? We certainly serve the base chassis needs, like propulsion software, in-cabin software, body software, and development. But there's also a bigger ecosystem in commercial vehicle than there is in pass car, for sure.
Absolutely. No, would you say that's about a 60-40 split in this case, or is it higher?
I might even imagine it's higher, because commercial vehicle, it's a very complex world, very tough ecosystem, because you got the fleets, you got the manufacturers, and then you got the end consumers, and all have a say in what goes in those vehicles. So it's different.
Absolutely. We've seen more out of the OEMs in the last 10 years on them standardizing to new technology than ever before. I mean, they're adopting. We were just talking about this the other day, that OEMs are starting to adopt tech that never in the history. And I mean, I've been in the industry almost 30 years, and we've not seen OEMs even get interested in these subjects before.
Right.
And now they are. And I actually feel like that's a path that they're going to continue to go down, because they own the customer. I mean, they have the largest customer base when it really comes down to it. Sometimes fleets are running multiple types of trucks, so you might have Kenworth, Peterbilt, Volvo, Freightliner, whatever, any mixture of any of them running at one particular organization. So when you go out and you talk with the OEMs, they have the direct access. Them and the fuel vendors have access to pretty much every fleet out there. So so it makes sense that they're starting to do more tech platforms that are not necessarily, they're obviously related to running the truck, but they've never actually been embedded in the truck before, and now they're coming together as a package, or at least it's looking that way. So,
Yeah.
So that definitely changed your ecosystem significantly from a lighter duty vehicle.
Yeah,
So.
maybe if I could just mention a little bit of the source of why we came about today versus 10 years ago. is now in the pass car light truck space, you're going into the central compute model, which is really driven by Tesla, where you got 2 or 3 main computers, and now you got to load those boxes up with software. So it used to be all these boxes around the vehicle, and you'd have the software from the suppliers in there. You really wouldn't do anything but integrate it. Let's say, and when I say that, I don't mean to diminish it. It's still a tough job.
Sure.
And I think a lot of those trends are going to also be in the commercial vehicle space as well, as that software becomes available, as the users or the consumers of these great products here at consumer vehicle space demand the consumer electronics that they find on their phone or at home, they're going to want it in their chassis as well. So I think that's going to be a trend that's going to continue here as well. We do it anyway.
Well, no, fair enough. I agree. I mean, just well, the central hub makes more sense, and it's more accessible and scalable, and becomes easier to deal with. There's other limitations to it that there's pros and cons. But I think the pros outweigh the cons. So, anything else that I need to know about SDVerse?
Well, one is thank you, and we're looking to just have good discussions and understand your business. We know it's a very complex, different world, and we're going to meet the customer where they're at. So we'd love to outreach and talk to you and share with people who are interested more about what we do.
Absolutely. We'll put your stuff out there. It's great talking to you, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I'm here with Travis from DataDis. Travis, what's your role at DataDis?
So I'm the Executive Vice President for the U.S. So we're a Canadian-based business, been around for 35 years, but we came to the States just 3 years ago, so I'm managing our U.S. expansion.
Great. So now tell us a little bit about DataDis.
Yep, so DataDis is a family-owned and operated fleet maintenance company. We've been just fully dedicated to fleet maintenance, again, for more than 35 years. So started up in Quebec City. We have north of 1,200 customers, and those are in trucking and construction. We also do business with third-party repair centers, so just about anybody managing, shops or fleets.
Okay. So 1,200 customers,
right?
Roughly. So, and you said so in the last 3 years, there's been a push to come to the U.S. side,
right?
So obviously, the bulk of that is Canadian customers.
Sure.
With you guys have been everywhere. I mean, we were just commenting on that. Every show that we go to, we run into friends from DataDis, and there's some old relationships, which I'm aging myself when I say that. But,
yeah.
So how has it been coming into the U.S. market?
Well, it's been good. Some of our largest customers, so TFI is our largest customer all through North America, obviously one of the largest here. They helped us by bringing, some of those fleets on, the big Dasky acquisition that they did. All of those folks are now our customers. So we found ourselves a few years ago with 20 or 25 folks in the U.S. that we were serving already, and it just seemed like the right time to finally make that move. So that's been really, really good. We've grown incredibly rapidly, since we've been here. Obviously, this first couple of years, we're just building the brand and showing up to shows like this and letting everybody know that that we're a player in the market, and it's been great since then.
So differentiators to DataDis. I mean, we're at TMC right now, and there's actually, if I had to pick the most voluminous software solution here, it's fleet maintenance software, and there's one on every corner, some right across from each other.
Sure.
And I'd say a lot of fleets are in that buying mode, or at least wanting to look at a replacement for their fleet maintenance software. You guys are an established company, you're new to the U.S., but so what are the differentiators that set DataDis different from your run-of-the-mill fleet maintenance software?
Sure. So a few things. We know at the core of the business, and it's not ubiquitous that everybody gets that today, but great service and support. So 100%. We always like to lead with that. We're a family-owned business. Our founder still leads the company, and we over-invest in service and support staff and implementers that make sure that we have really, really happy customers. So that's number one. But on the technology side, we've certainly done a lot of work to make the job simpler for all of those folks. So we want the job to be simple for the technician, simple for the planners. So a lot of the legacy software that folks have been on for many, many years, 15 or 20 years, is just riddled with old school tech. It's not super user friendly. It's frustrating to use. There's a lot of manual entry. And so over the years, we've looked at every piece and part of that and all the different types of users through the system. And we've built things that are a delight for them to use. Today, and you see sort of behind us, AI has become really, really important. So as we move into the next generation, we're also now building smart tools to solve problems with AI that just could never be solved before. So around emergency roadside support and automating invoices coming in from outside and reading them and implementing them into the system. We've done a lot of really smart integration so that things flow smoothly. So for us, it's really about simple solutions that are easy to use. But because we've been at it so long, we've got that depth and complexity to deal with the larger, more complex fleets and those unique needs that they have.
Absolutely. So I liked how you started out with service and quality support. So I think most people actually respond with, well, we have an AI layer, or we're building an AI layer and the use cases on that. But in this industry, I think it's extremely important that we're handling and managing people and problems.
That's right.
The right way with the right level of staffing. So that's the first person that's actually said, hey, we have great. No, that had great support, but that used to be everybody's differentiator. Hey, I got the best support out there, but nobody's talking about that.
Well, a lot of people say it, or people make an assumption about it, but the reality is, again, our business structure allows us to actually make that investment in those people. And when you call our support line, a really smart person picks up the phone and talks to you as long as they need to, until the problem is resolved. And so that actually is becoming really rare these days. So that's a big deal and something that we talk about, and certainly that's resulted in all those years and all those customers. Our churn is just almost zero because we take great care of folks.
Almost unheard of. Yeah, that's getting a churn rate down into the single digits is great for a software company.
Right.
So let's shift then into the topic that everybody talks about, which is AI. You mentioned a couple of use cases. What's some of the more advanced ones that you're working on?
Yeah, so again, we've already released a couple of point products. So there are some really interesting ways to use that AI technology. So the first thing we did was, again, we automated invoices coming from those third parties. So parts we already do a really nice job of. It's single clicks. We don't really need to get those parts invoices in, but when you've got that third party repair and you've got a big line, what most fleets do is they go, okay, we want to get it in the system. They do a little bit of manual keying, but they really don't fill the thing out because it might take them 30 minutes. And somebody has to be pretty technical if they want to break all of that into VMRS coding and really get the detail. AI is a perfect use case for that. Does it automatically. It tells you whether it's confidence level, and then it's off to accounting from there. The next thing that we did that we've launched at this show is around emergency roadside support. So the normal thing that happens is driver calls in, hey, I've got a problem, a tire down, and now starts a big series of phone calls back and forth and updates back and forth between a dispatcher, a driver, and whoever's doing the fix. And so what we've done is actually used AI to be able to make those calls and do a bunch of auto updating. So once we know we have a problem, we can enter a little bit of information, and then all of a sudden we've tied all those parties together. So where instead of taking 30 minutes to dispatch somebody and then we still have to update everybody manually, we can dispatch in literally under a minute, and then everybody's getting updates in real time. The second part of that is you have maybe dispatch teams that don't want to take a phone call at 2 in the morning. So, when something happens in the middle of the night, so we can also lay an AI agent to answer the call. So now a driver knows, hey, if I call support after hours and it's 2 a.m, no problem. I'm going to talk to an AI that knows me, it knows who I am. I give it the same set of information, and it can act on my behalf and get me taken care of without waking up Nate at 2 a.m.
Right.
So
Nate
really,
appreciates that.
right.
Appreciates that.
So we've done some unique things, and then for DataDis, we're looking at, as we move into the next generation, we're going to build AI native up underneath the platform. So really robust analytics. Obviously, we got more and more sensor data, a lot of really interesting things at this show. So now as the trucks and the assets increasingly talk to us, and we have lots more data that can go into planning, you got to have AI that's really smart looking at all of that to make better decisions.
Well, it definitely allows us, so as we've been gathering for years in swimming and data, and
Right.
to be able to slice that up, especially on the maintenance side. That's actually some of the most robust data that we get off of the trucks.
That's right.
Is coming off the ECMs, and we've never really known what to do with a lot of this data, and some of the AI layers that are hitting it are coming up with new and unique ways of looking at things. So I don't even think we've explored all the use cases there, all the possibilities, because we've never been able to manage it before.
100%. It's almost impossible to manage just with reporting or basic dashboards, all the things you really want to know. And so, there's some folks that are doing a pretty good job on the predictive side. That's coming along. But, of course, these AI engines will take many, many more data points and factors into account. And pretty quickly, we're going to find that we'll be in a different world because of the amount of data we can crunch in near real time to help us make decisions.
So, we used to micromanage every little expense line. That's going to get superpowers. So we're going to micromanage it even further. So
that's right.
But
that's 100% right.
Cost, everything about saving a penny. So save a penny and make $1 million. So
that's right.
That's this industry. But
that's right.
So anything new for DataDis coming up? Anything that I'm missing that I should be asking you?
No, I think nothing that you're missing. I mean, we're excited about these new launches. Again, for us, it's really as we grow, we know that just the core platform, we've got to continue to innovate, and what you'll see from us is a lot of new product releases as we're building through the platform. And again, we're taking on customers really left and right. I think there's a lot of folks that have been on the sideline and haven't been ready to make a move off that platform they've been on for 20 years. But what we're seeing now is that people are reaching the tipping point, and as they spend time, they realize there's a better way.
Sure.
So.
Sure. All right. Well, I appreciate the discussion, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Nate, thanks so much.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right. Thank you once again to everybody that we met at TMC. I would love to do more recordings like this in the future, and we're going to be at Matt's again next week. Intend on doing a lot of content there. So, I doubt the episode's going to be out on Thursday. We may come live and just chat about stuff, but which I still need to reach out to Courtney at Wreaths Across America to see if we can use her booth for that. I'm sure we'll be able to, but my guess, I know we won't be live Thursday at 1:00 p.m. next week. That is when my panel is, or it's somewhere around that time. So it runs over it pretty closely. So wrapping this week up, AI is coming. Actually, it's really here, whether you're ready or you're not. And agentic AI is separating operators from observers. Organizations like ATA, through their sub-organizations like TMC and many of the others, NAFC, the Safety Council, TCA, they're quietly laying the groundwork so this industry doesn't break while it evolves. There's lots of tabloids out there. There's lots of discussions out there. And I'm actually going to do a recording here, or potentially if we do a bunch of clips from Matt's, I may talk a lot about ATA and their impact on the industry over the last 10 or 20 years. So the companies that win next, and I say this a lot, the companies that win next won't be the loudest. They're going to be the ones willing to understand what's actually changing
and act before they're forced to. So make the decisions quick, make them smart. You don't want to make the bad decision, but make sure that you're acting before you're forced to act. And that allows you to kind of lay your own path. And that's how you keep driving forward. So I think that wraps up this week. So thanks a lot to Technology and Maintenance Council, and thank you to the ATA. We'll see you all sooner than later. And stay curious, stay informed, keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Until next time, drive forward with purpose and innovation. Thanks for watching.